Hello dear friends and students, welcome back to my channel Pharmacy Mediji. I am your host Rajan Koshik, and in today's session we are going to discuss an important concept of chemistry, that is the Arrhenius theory. Arrhenius theory is a concept related to the acid and bases. Before the development of the theories related to the acid and bases, it was thought that an acid is a substance that has a sour taste, that can turn the blue litmus paper into red and has a pH lower than the 7. Similarly, a base which has a bitter taste turns litmus paper blue and has a pH higher than 7. But all these facts were not sufficient to describe the acid and bases in a proper manner. So, the scientists developed the different theories to describe the acid and bases, and one of them is Arrhenius theory of acid and bases. So, without delay, let's start this theory. Here you can see a brief description of this theory. Arrhenius theory is one of the earliest theory to describe acid and bases. ये जो थ्योरी है, जो शुरुआती दौर में जो थ्योरी डेवलप हुई, उन थ्योरी में से एक है, and it was developed in 1887. It was proposed by the Arrhenius. So this question is very much important, and this question can be asked in your examination. Name the scientist who proposed the Arrhenius theory. And this theory defines the acid and bases on their behavior in water, and how the acids and bases react in the water, and what is their behavior, how they ionize in the water. So all these things were discussed by the Arrhenius in detail in this theory. So now move to the next slide. Let's see what are the acids. So according to Arrhenius, acid is a substance that when dissolved in water increases the concentration of hydrogen ions, or you can say which on dissolution in water provide protons. Means वो substances जो water में dissolve होने पे हाइड्रोजन आयन प्रोवाइड करते हैं, उनको Arrhenius ने एसिड कहा. और ये जो हाइड्रोजन आयंस हैं वाटर में फ्री एंटिटी की फॉर्म में नहीं रहते, they are always in the association with the water molecule in the form of the hydronium ions. So according to Arrhenius, acids are all the substances which on dissolution in water provide the protons. Let's see the example. HCl, that is a hydrochloric acid and is a very popular acid in chemistry. Here you can see it dissociates in water to form the hydrogen ions, means it gives the protons basically, and chloride ions. So HCl dissociates to give the protons or the hydrogen ion. Therefore, it is a classical example of acid according to the Arrhenius theory. Now move to the Arrhenius bases, and before moving to the Arrhenius bases, we will see some application of the Arrhenius acid. So here you can see hydrochloric acid is an Arrhenius acid, and this acid is produced by the stomach, and it helps in the digestion process by breaking down the food and killing the harmful bacteria. So HCl is an Arrhenius acid. Why? Because it dissociates in the stomach to provide the hydrogen ions, and thereby it contributes to the acidic environment. So here you can see the application of this acid in terms of the physiology of the body. Now move to the Arrhenius bases. Similar to the Arrhenius acid, Arrhenius bases are the substances when dissolved in water, they increases the concentration of hydroxide ions. Actually, they produces the hydroxide ions on dissolution in water. So let's see the example of the Arrhenius base. Here you can see sodium hydroxide, that is the caustic soda, and it dissociates in water to form the sodium ions and hydroxide ions. Here the NaOH dissociates to give the sodium ions and hydroxyl ion. Because it provides the hydroxyl ion, therefore it is known as a Arrhenius base. Now see some real life example of this Arrhenius base. Magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium hydroxide is an antiacid which is used in the treatment of the flatulence, and you can say in heartburn and indigestion. Magnesium hydroxide acts as a base. why it acts as a base? Because in stomach, this base dissociates to provide the hydroxyl ion. That is the basic ions, and these ions react with the acid present in the stomach, and the excess amount of acid is neutralized by the magnesium hydroxide. Therefore, this magnesium hydroxide acts as an antacid. So it's a real life example, and you can remember that magnesium hydroxide is an example of a Arrhenius base. Now, Arrhenius proposed another concept, that is the concept of neutralization reaction. According to the Arrhenius, when an acid, here you can see HCl, that is the Arrhenius acid, and NaOH, that is the Arrhenius base. When these acids react with each other, they form the salt NaCl, that is sodium chloride is a salt. So this kind of reaction is known as the neutralization reaction. Here you can see water molecules and sodium molecules, ions and the chloride ions. Sorry, I say the sodium molecule, that is not correct. Sodium ions basically. So this type of reaction is known as the neutralization reaction. As we know that every concept has some advantages and some limitations. So now discuss the limitations of this theory. According to Arrhenius, acids are those substances which provide the hydrogen ions, and bases are those which provide the hydroxyl ions. But Arrhenius theory cannot explain some concepts like why the ammonia is basic, why sodium carbonate is basic, why CO2 is acidic, and why SO2 is acidic. And so these are the limitations. Arrhenius concept is limited to aqueous solution, and it does not explain the behavior of acids and bases in non-aqueous solution. तो जो Arrhenius का जो concept है वो ये तो बताता है कि एसिड वो सबस्टेंसेस हैं जो हाइड्रोजन आयंस प्रोवाइड करते हैं, बेसिस वो सबस्टेंसेस हैं जो हाइड्रोक्सिल आयंस प्रोवाइड करते हैं, लेकिन वो और दूसरे सबस्टेंसेस जैसे अमोनिया है वो क्यों बेसिक है, इस तरीके की जो चीजें हैं उनको एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाती है. तो एक इसका मेजर ड्रॉबैक है इस थ्योरी का. इसके अलावा ये एक्वस सॉल्यूशन तक लिमिटेड है और ये कहीं पे भी एक्सप्लेन नहीं करती एसिड और बेसिस दूसरे जो सॉल्वेंट्स हैं, जो नॉन एक्वस सॉल्वेंट्स हैं, उनमें किस तरीके से ये बिहेव करते हैं. इसके अलावा कुछ और सॉल्ट हैं जैसे कि AlCl3 है, एल्यूमिनियम क्लोराइड, एक्वस सॉल्यूशन होता है वो एसिडिक होता है नेचर, लेकिन आर्हेनियस थ्योरी उसको भी एक्सप्लेन नहीं करती. तो ये कुछ लिमिटेशंस हैं और एग्जामिनेशन में अगर हमसे पूछे जाएंगे तो हमें ये सब लिखनी होती है और बताना होता है. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर watching this session, and please like, share and subscribe the Pharmacy Made Easy, and press the icon to get more updates on this. Thank you so much.